Hello everyone, welcome to ASR, African Stories Realized. This is our weekly review of The Wife, Season 2. Let's jump right into it. This week's episode opens up at NQOBA's place with MANDISA encouraging NQOBA to run in the upcoming election against his brother. My girl thinks I don't like MANDISA, but how could I when she's always instigating and making things harder for the family? NQOBA wasted no time taking MANDISA's advice as he rushed to the association offices to put himself up for nomination, which the younger Majola brother Geja endorsed. This is very smart by the Majola brothers, cause this might cause confusion for the voters and split the votes SAMBULO was expecting. Thereafter, SAMBULO confronts NQOBA about the mismanagement of funds and everything else that went wrong when the association was under his leadership, and NQOBA again tells SAMBULO to vacate his seat. Back at the women's prison, NKOSANA visits NOMUSA and confides in her about his troubles at home with Zandile, and NOMUSA gives him the advice that he needed to realize that he had been taking his wife for granted. Just as NKOSANA's visit ends, the guard encourages NKOSANA to give NOMUSA a goodbye kiss, and he didn't think twice. In case anyone's wondering why the guard encouraged them to kiss each other goodbye, it's because they believe that NKOSANA is her husband. One thing this kiss made me think about was, does this mean there was something going on between them before the prison break? NOMUSA is truly an enigma. As we all know, I theorized that she's Mcele's long-lost baby mama, but that kiss raised a lot of questions. Even though it was encouraged by the guard, NKOSANA did not hesitate. We know for sure that Zandile knows her personally, so I look forward to her full revelation. I feel like they're building up to something with her. Back at the taxi rank, the Majola brothers become anxious over the growing support for SAMBULO with the election around the corner. At NQOBA's place, the two younger Zulu brothers, Nzika and Mkoki, are visiting Zaza when she receives a call from Mcele telling her that NKOSANA had suffered a heart attack, so they all left in a hurry. The episode ends as Zaza, Mkoki and Nzika arrive at the Zulu home, where the rest of the family was waiting to surprise her with an intimate engagement ceremony. It was a beautiful moment and very well executed by all the brothers involved. I guess I was right that we're gonna get another Zulu wedding this season. My only thing is, like I said before, how is it gonna be a legitimate wedding when Zandile is living under a false identity? I'm not sure how this wedding is gonna be any more legitimate than the one that they had before. Episode 20 opens up with Zaza going through a traditional ritual, I assume to prepare her and the ancestors for the pending union. Back at the house, SAMBULO, NKOSANA and Kawe try to convince NQOBA to pull out from the election, but he once again refuses. Still at the house, Hlomu looks like she's now on her second trimester and hints to Mcele that she wants them to get a place of their own because Zaza doesn't like her. Mcele asks her to be patient with Zaza because she was in jail for a long time, but I think eventually they will move out of the Zulu home. I feel like Hlomu only did this because she can feel her favor and influence in the house slipping away as the younger Zulu brothers and NKOSANA shower Zaza with gifts and attention. Back at the chairman's office, SAMBULO and Kawe meet to discuss changes they can make to the association that will give SAMBULO an upper hand in the election. Mkoki joined them, so it seems that SAMBULO is putting a team of advisors around him, comprising of his siblings he trusts the most. It was smart of him to go to Kawe, because in these episodes, NQOBA kept making a big deal about SAMBULO being uneducated, and it would appear that Kawe is the most educated out of all the siblings. The episode ends at the Zulu home, where NKOSANA and Zaza's evening is interrupted by some uninvited guests who have arrived to see Zandile. And the guests are none other than Zandile's father and her uncles. Episode 21 picks up right after the arrival of Zaza's father. Zandile's father announces that he has come to fetch his daughter and tells NKOSANA to respect their culture and do things the right way. NKOSANA attempts to reason with Zaza's dad and uncles, but Mcele and Zaza are not pleased with their disrespectful tone and approach. Zaza condemns her father to her face and refuses to leave with him and his brothers. One thing I have to say is I have no idea how they knew she was out of jail, so I hope the writers explain that somehow in the future. At NQOBA's tavern, NQOBA has invited some taxi owners for a drink so he can lobby for their support in the upcoming election and even attempt to buy their vote. One of the taxi owners loyal to SAMBULO reports this to the Zulu brothers. Back at the chairman's office, SAMBULO's attempts to form a decision-making committee for the association is met with stern resistance from the Majola brothers. It might appear like this move would dilute the chairman's power, but SAMBULO is smart enough to ensure most of the committee members are loyal to him and will always vote with him. Mcele was at his romantic best in this episode. With the help of Langa, he organized a cute couples photo shoot for him and Hlomu. Good to see Mcele and Hlomu getting more screen time this season because they were being very neglected when the season started. There were even a few episodes they were completely absent. Back at the Zulu house, NKOSANA convinces Zaza that they must face her father and do whatever it takes to make things right for the sake of their children. At the taxi rank, the Majola brothers attempt to convince the taxi owners that SAMBULO is inexperienced and doesn't know what he's doing. But the taxi owners are not impressed with their attempts to discredit SAMBULO instead of campaigning for themselves. The episode ends with SAMBULO visiting their traditional healer so he can get guidance and protection from the ancestors. He is warned that his enemies are angry, but reassured that he will be protected. Not too much drama this week, I have to say, not too much drama this week. I feel like they were laying a lot of groundwork for next week. I'm expecting a bigger week next week, but it was a very chilled week this week. We didn't get to see much of Zaza's father either, they just showed him once, so I'm assuming everything else is gonna kick off next week. I'm disappointed though, I'm disappointed with this week. Slide in the comment section down below and tell me how you felt about these episodes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is ASR for the love of African filmmaking and storytelling.